To give you an update on today, for you, actually, yesterday, the Shabbat. And, Shabbat in Israel is unlike any place in the world. It's a very unique experience. To celebrate Shabbat the way God intended it, the entire world, to honor God's rest. We're honoring God's rest. Man didn't do anything when the Shabbat was created. Shabbat was not created to give you rest. It was God who had been working. And now he rested from all he had done, all his labor. It is good. And on the seventh day, he rested. In honor of that, man, like God, work 6 days and rest on the seventh, in honor to commemorate, like we do countries' anniversaries and independence. We are to commemorate the creation, not the creation of a country, the creation of everything. Shabbat is the creation of everything. And to commemorate that, we are to weekly have a day of remembrance. A day to honor the day that God created us and then rested from it. So you rest and you look back on the work and realize your labor. Hopefully, prayerfully, you're looking back on the 6 days and you're saying, as God said, it is good. That's not the case. We know that. We don't rest on the seventh and look back on the last 6 and go, it is good. It is good. It is good. It is good. Or it was good. In fact, it's very hard for most of us to rest on the seventh day to honor God's Shabbat. Because the seventh day is an opportunity to worry about the last 6 days and the next coming 6 days to come. It's either you're worrying about what has happened and you're going to worry about what's going to happen in the next 6 days. There's no rest. It is the day to worry, to wring our hands, and in many ways, recover from all of the evil, the wicked, the bad, the exasperation of the last 6 days. And then to start sweating about the next 6 days to come. So you never really do enjoy your Shabbat. You never really do rest. Because it's resting from good labor. I want to repeat that. A Shabbat is a rest from good labor. Not wicked labor. Not a rest from suffering, persecution, drunkenness, drug addiction, conflict, turmoil, war. No, a rest from good labor. From doing good, a rest from all that was created. And I understand that because those of you who've walked with me know what it's like to do God's work and be doing good and feeling that exhaustion. Those who actually do walk with me, actually spend time, not an hour or two, but those who actually walk with me and know. When you're doing the Lord's work, when you're doing good, it's exhausting. That's the kind of exhaustion you should have. Exhaustion, not from stress of evil, but from the work and the care of good work, good labor. And the people that have good, hard work rest the best. Not evil work, not wicked work, not troubling work, not chaotic work, good work. Good rest. You're producing good, you're doing good. Not stress, not that kind of stress, but the good stress, the kind that builds muscle, that makes us stronger and happier. So should not a Shabbat be a rest from good labor? Should we not look back on the last 6 days and anticipate the next 6 days that I have to do more good work next 6 days. So it's a unique experience in Israel to experience that. In the sense that even if there has been stress, they do take that day and the nation shuts down. Even the birds are happier. The creatures, the cats, the squirrels, they don't hear the cacophonous cavalcade of chaotic city industry. It comes to a halt. No planes and helicopters, no noise. The animals get the rest from your noise. You know that noisy neighbor? Well, the animals are complaining about the noisy humans. The constant honking of the horns and the screaming and the ambulance outside your window, the fire truck, the police cars, the other cars racing up and down the street on your windows for hours and hours and hours. Every Saturday and every Sunday, oh, I'm sorry, I regress, PTSD. That's what I live like outside my window. Stressful. Do good. Rest from your labor. Rest from the noise. Rest from the chaos and the turmoil within your own mind. Rest from your addictions and your afflictions. Meditate on something, not nothing. You don't clear your mind, you fill your mind with the things of Adonai, the words of truth and love and peace and joy. Not unforgiveness and hate, remembering what someone has done or said, prejudice and discrimination. Leave that alone. Fill your mind with the thoughts of righteousness, justice, peace, holiness. Think on the things that God has done. Meditate on who he is, what he's done and what he's going to do, the hope of his word. And then you'll have a true, beautiful Shabbat. We walked yesterday in calmness and went to the shelter, the bomb shelter. And walking through and seeing those blast doors and how the people live in those shelters, packed, some not able to get in. And do we close the door all the way? There's some people outside we can't pack. They're all packed in. We were in an elevator in Jerusalem at the train station, which itself is one heck of an apocalyptic bomb shelter. Thousands upon thousands can pack into that one. It's the main bomb shelter of the city. Going down one of the elevators to catch a train. People packed that elevator, and it was a horrible feeling. With no regard of how they were pressing. You can understand how a stampede, they didn't care. They just kept filling that elevator, pressing people in the back. They didn't care. Had to get in an elevator, suffocating and pressing against people. Just saw people die in stampedes. And it was a horrible feeling. Guy and I almost got separated from the pressure of the people trying to fill an elevator. It's always filled to capacity, and they still kept coming in. No regard of anybody else and who they're pressing or suffocating. It's a terrible feeling. Finally was able to barely make it to the front. And then there was this one girl with a bouquet of flowers. Poor thing. I was able to reach out. She was the last lone survivor. And Papa gave me wisdom to get her a space, and she was beyond grateful. Young girl, probably in her early teens, beyond grateful. No one else had considered her. How do you not? Imagine the bomb shelter. Do you realize the panic? And that wasn't even in a panic situation. But the reality of living like that, none of us can imagine that in the United States. So don't even begin to try. Pray that you never have to. Or maybe pray that you do. Maybe that's the wake-up call for the U.S., for its citizens. How ungrateful and unthankful. how wasteful we are of our time, our money, our energy, our prayers, contemplating and frustrating over things that do not matter. But a wonderful walk. And then we met some very rambunctious little children. It's very sad. You know, foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, and there are children who are full of foolishness and tauntings, like when Elijah walked through and they were making fun of him, calling him bald head, you bald head. And the Lord sent out a she-bear to attack the children for mocking the prophet. Well, we ran into a group of demonic little kids. They were a mess. They had their kippas on and their dresses on, but they were full of some spit and fire and horrible things that would come out of their mouths towards Guy and I.
Well, they saw Stephen, they were starting to go crazy. We sang and danced, trying to get them involved, and Stephen was filming, and this little girl started yelling at Stephen, "You're violating Shabbat, you're violating Shabbat." And the other girl kept giving him her sunglasses, "Put this on," and the one kid threw his kippah, "Well, put this on," and then this first girl, she had a snack, some Cheetos or something. She took it out of her mouth and gave it to Stephen, and then laughing at him, you took it from my mouth. And then they tried to give him food that fell on the ground and mocking. And
they were saying, and the mother was in shock. Surely she must know those little rugrats had some evil spitfire in them, and they were not disciplined children. No doubt it looks as if she had to take them out of the synagogue. They were that disruptive. You get some children sometimes, and they become Lord of the Flies, and God knows what they are capable of. But do not think that just because they're tiny humans that are incapable of evil tauntings.
And not just tiny, they were cute. They were cute little devils.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about children, when you think about it. She had 5, I think, 3 boys and 2 girls. And you can tell she sat there with a couple of other women. One was older, maybe her sister and mother or something like that. Raising up children is a job all to itself. And those children were not being raised up. The father was obviously in the synagogue doing his little ritual, and she's left with those devils, letting them run so they can wear themselves out.
They were fit to be tied. But that has to be parenting, because we ran into another group, and they had a 4-year-old and 10-year-old, and they were well disciplined. Right? It really goes back to parenting, doesn't it? Children aren't born to that degree of devilishness, but poor parenting, it always reflects on the home. We are a reflection of where we were raised. It was sad. It was sad. It made me very sad, because nothing's worse than to see children become impetuous and vile at such an innocent age. No one loves that. And we know in Islam, it's quite common to train 7- and 6-year-olds how to shoot weapons and kill and attack. One little boy, he was struggling between being good and evil. At one moment he was hitting me, and the next moment he was hugging me. He was conflicted. Are you that way? Are you conflicted? One moment you want to be nice, and another moment you want to be cursory with the person. You're conflicted like the little children, and you're adults. Nonetheless, we continue to walk. We continue to walk. There's so many things in Israel where many of you complain about the money of the Rothschilds, but it's the money of the Rothschilds that helped to bring millions the Jewish people out of Europe back to their homeland. That money wasn't used for them to get rich. That money was used to help build a nation, and that's exactly what they did. Nonetheless, we're back And it's really interesting. Then, of course, we ran into Victor, the landlord's husband, on his walk, and he's struggling in his mind. He reads too much, reads so much, he can't put it all together. And many of you are that way with your religious walk. He has no real love relationship with God, and many of you don't either. He just knows how to lobotomize and break down scripture and history. He's got a lot right. Jewish man with the kippur. He knows more than 99.9% of all of you in America that I know. He knew more about the scripture than you do. And he had a great understanding of Constantine and Christianity and true faith and all of that, but he has a whole bunch of other stuff too. He gets it right, and then he goes over. It's not how you get a conversation. You talk yourself into a cell and out of it at the same time. Right when the person's saying, you kept talking to the point where I was about the Bible. You kept talking about it. By the time you got to the third part of that conversation, oh, wow, no, well, none of you tell me that. Things change. Secondhand, I don't want to have the car. And he's like that with his walk with God. A man who knows so much, more than most of my Jewish brethren here, that Guy and I talk to. Great understanding, tremendous understanding. But he's missing something. Had a miracle from God, testifies of it. And indeed it was. Gives Adonai the glory. But somehow or another, with all of the pieces in front of him, to put that puzzle together on the table, he still can't put it together. Because the one piece he's missing is the one piece that binds it as a glue for all knowledge and all information. Love. True love. On that hang everything. We're praying for him.
And don't forget the people we met before Victor. On the way back, we saw...
I purposely skipped over them.
Then I'll just mention the woman, the one that said she was the grandfather. Well, we told her, Stephen here visited, and we were doing Shabbat, and she asking, is he Jewish? Is he Jewish? Is he Jewish? I said, he's keeping Torah, he's keeping Shabbat. She said, he's not allowed to keep Shabbat. If he's not Jewish, he's not allowed to keep Shabbat. I said, well, he's not allowed to keep Shabbat. Now that's a new one. But like Stephen just said, he purposely skipped over those people. That was not a very good interaction. Very sad. She was a grandmother in her 60s with children and grandchildren, and this is who she is. Oh, well, what can you do?
Pray and do what's right, even if someone else isn't. The wife isn't doing what's right. That's not an excuse for you not to. Do what's right. The husband isn't doing what's right. Be holy. If parents aren't doing what's right, do what's right. Be holy. And continue to serve the Lord. Amen. We're inside the shelter. What is this door for?
This is the shelter. We're not in the shelter.
Oh, this is the shelter here. We're going to open it now.
That's a big, heavy door.
That's a big thing. Open it. Oh, God. We walk in. Yeah. And now we go in. Where's the light?
No.
Got the light on? And here we are. Well, so this shelter, this is the shelter. And this would probably hold, well, it has to hold whatever it has to hold. That's the water, and this is the restroom, one for women and men. And there's another place to get some, this one's storage. But imagine being in here. And people were sleeping. These are the chairs. So this tissue, water, we just pray of God's protection. And the poster for the kids, something for the children. What did they interpret that for the children?
Well, that's for Purim. Happy Purim.
Happy Purim, when they were here, during Purim. They have to celebrate Purim in a shelter. There is a fan to help. This is the systems. This is what it's like. And Guy spent, you want to tell them, Guy? He spent a lot of nights in the shelter. in your house, and then some when you were out in the stores and you have to run into the shelter?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Not so much in my area. I'm blessed in the area I live, but other people in Tel Aviv, Haifa, up north, they basically live.
There were areas that were more
They
concentrated.
were living in the shelter.
He has-
For me, it was in and out.
Yeah.
They were.
So this is the public shelter.
Yeah.
A lot of people have, like Guy, you have a home shelter. And then when you're in the store, while you're shopping, then you got to go to the store shelter, the public shelter. And it's just something to understand, to run in a place of refuge. And these are the doors.
Big heavy door.
It's a big, heavy door.
It's a blast door, so it doesn't.
Blast. This is a blast door. And this thing, close it. God help us. And hopefully we won't have to use it while we're here. And hopefully Guy won't have to use it when I'm gone.